प्रसादे गौरभक्तवृन्द विलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for joining today for the morning Srimad Bhagavatam discussions. So these days we are discussing about Dhruva Maharaj, how he returns home, and then he is residing in Uttanapada's palace, and description of Uttanapada's palace, how the man-made lakes are there, very beautiful. It has been described. This subject matter is very wonderful and lot of things to learn from this particular Dhruva Maharaj's topic. So my knowledge in this Bhagavatam is very limited. In this glorified scripture is very limited. But with all of your blessings and guidance of Guru and Gauranga, would like to glorify this beautiful subject matter for my own purification. So here, the description is so wonderful. Like sometimes we go to some rich people's house, we see so many beautiful paintings, beautiful artifacts, we see nice chandeliers, beautiful lights, and wall hangings. We see, yes, that's so beautiful, they're so rich. But when I was reading this description, how this they have man-made lakes and the lakes are there, yeah, it is so wonderful and so beautiful. It's very difficult to imagine. The staircases are basically engraved with the Vaidurya money. Vaidurya money basically they're basically emeralds. There are blue emeralds are there. They're basically the steps are basically engraved with emerald stones. So emerald is very costly and very difficult to get it. So here very beautifully it is described that that water lake is there very cool breeze is all around. The previous slokas are also it is describing the lotuses are all around there are there and the swans are there and nice birds because the level of the water is very comforting and cool breeze is moving and nice flower trees are all around. So basically with this all this association it is creating a conducive atmosphere. So when the atmosphere is very conducive, what happens? The wonderful birds like hamsa, karandava, and then chakrahava, sarasi, in all these beautiful birds, those are mentioned here. They are coming to do water sports over there. They are coming with all their family members, and they are basically uh, doing water sports there. So this kind of birds, they don't go to filthy places, and they go wherever there are beautiful water, like steady water is there, rice lotus will be there. So they are basically go to those beautiful areas. So they nice trees and nice beautiful flowers and these wonderful plants and their humming sounds. Basically, it's creating a very wonderful atmosphere and which is very pleasing to the sight. And it's very difficult to see this kind of things in this material planet, specifically this Kali Yuga, where we are all surrounded by the concrete jungle. So we can just imagine how beautiful it will be. So with this kind of discussion, I think we'll go a little bit deep into this verse. So here, Prabhupada has in the part, but Prabhupada has put a very wonderful statement here. He's saying that these birds generally do not live in filthy places like the crows do. The atmosphere of the city was very healthy and beautiful. It can simply be imagined from his description. So we see that like we all took about sadhu sangha, right? In our congregation and in our community, it is called, we always talk about, and we take association very serious. So association is very important, very important. There is a discussion between Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu, where Rupa Goswami often quotes this particular statement in our Nectar of Devotion. He says that association is very important. It just like acts like a crystal stone, which will reflect anything which is put before it. What does it mean? That basically you can see that crystal itself is very shiny and it has no inherent color. But if we place any kind of thing behind it, it will basically what it does, it reflects that color. It takes the color of that particular thing. Suppose behind a crystal we are going to keep a blue cloth, it appears blue, and if we keep a red, it will appear red. So consciousness is also same thing. Consciousness is either it can be neutral or it can be malleable. So if we associate with any materialistic or negative people, our mind takes on those qualities. If we associate with positive or spiritual thinking people or elevated people, then mind becomes pure and reflects those virtues. Like our sannyasis and our brahmacharis and like our wonderful devotees of our congregation, when we mingle with them, sometimes like it's very wonderful. We inherit those qualities. Like Mangalarti time, if we go and we chant along with those those elevated devotees, then we can see that our chanting quality also is getting better. And when we mix with them and we mingle with them, our association also improves and we hanker for good and good association. We don't feel like going to this old mundane world. So we see that when we get associated with the pure Vaishnava, that what happens, we receive the devotional energy. As if, when we stay next to the heat or fire, we see that, we are getting heated up. When we see next to a ice cube, we feel that, we're getting cold. Why? Because the energy, heat energy or the cold energy, we feel it. Similarly, when we stand next to a high energy, high devotional energy person, we see that we also can get little bit of that energy. So if we can bind that energy within our heart, then what will happen? We'll develop strong faith in our bhakti, and our bhakti will develop. So, and slowly what will happen? In our devotion to Krishna will increase, and our heart will get changed. So, association with any kind of materialistic people, it leads to contest, whereas association with any sadhu or saintly person, it leads us to liberation. Even if without knowing also, if we do some kind of agyana shikruti, we come across with a sadhu, what will happen? Our bhakti also will develop. We see in the example of Brigari. Brigari never heard about Narad Muni. Neither he heard about Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna or Vishnu. He never heard of anything. He only knew one thing, how to kill animals and that very cruelly. What he was doing, he was hunting for the animals. He will be killing them, but he will half kill them. So he wanted to see that how the animals are dying in pain. So when Narada Muni is coming and seeing, and he's seeing that he's advising Brigari that why are you doing it? And he tells him that I don't kill, and like he talks about he talks about like how to follow a good devotional life. Little bit association of Narada Muni, there is change of heart in Brigari. After that, he takes the path of bhakti and he changes his lifestyle. And his lifestyle was changing so much that not only killing animals, he was hesitant to step on little bit ant also. So these days we are discussing the topic of Dhruva Maharaj. So Dhruva Maharaj, we see that he was Uttanapat's son, and Dhruva Maharaj knew that Narad Muni is a great devotee, but still he was focused only two things: basically a position better than Brahmaji, because his stepmother Suniti, his stepmother Suruchi, basically she chastised her and he did not let him sit on his father's lap. So he was requesting Narad Muni to help him to find out an honest way to attain this materialistic desire. So even if his motive was for a material position, by the good assistance of Narad Muni, he could get the taste of devotional service. And as per Narad Muni's advice, when he started practicing it and sincerely, he not only got darshan of Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face, but he was also repentant that he has approached Lord for this kind of material desires. So little bit association of Narad Muni, we see in these cases how these two devotees are got elevated. So here we are talking about the association of swans, like how the swans are going to a good atmosphere and they don't go to the filthy atmosphere. So like the swan that has a capability of discriminating. So similarly, we should have we should also think of how we should discriminate in relationships. We in a day-to-day life we meet so many people. We meet we have so many acquaintances, so many family members. We go to office, we go to stores. So we also go to preach. So we have to basically think as a devotee, as a Vaishnava, we should not discriminate. But for making our sadhana strong, we need to understand where to invest and to what extent. So in Bhagavatam, basically there are two types of associations. Our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talks about two things, that is basically Yosit Sangi and Bhagavad Sangi. Yosit means basically women or any things which are meant for sense gratification. The materialistic people, they are basically called as Yosit Sangi, or one who is too much attached to the material entanglement. This material entanglement basically are conditioned because it drives away it basically drives us away from the path of devotion. And just opposite of it is Bhagavad Sangi. Bhagavad Sangi means what? Bhagavad Sangi basically are our saintly persons, our Maharas and our Goswamis, our Gopis. They are basically Bhagavad Sangi. That means they're always in association with Lord's name, form, qualities, etc. So we should always hanker for association of Bhagavad Sangi. So in sometimes if these Bhagavad Sangi are not available physically, we can also take the reference of their bodies. Like these days in the early in the morning, we all are assembled here instead of sleeping or doing anything else. We are basically assembled here to read Srimad Bhagavatam. So we are taking this Bhagavad Sangi path. So cultivating loving relationship with like-minded people and spiritual seekers basically is a very conducive atmosphere which will help us in our spiritual advancement. Also, we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita a lot of times Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always says that asasanga tyaga. Basically, he tells that we have to stay away from these materialistic people who are basically envious of God. We see that in Bhagavad Gita also. Krishna is revealing to Arjuna there are only two things why. Because Arjuna is dear friend and Arjuna is not envious of Lord Krishna. So we should basically, as we discussed here, that we should avoid materialistic people and who are envious, those kind of envious to Krishna. So these kind of people we should avoid because that will diminish our inspiration in our devotional life. So a spiritual seeker should always understand the difference between a conducive atmosphere and an unfavorable relationship. So whatever the situation may be, the devotee should always invest his life, emotion, and feeling in relationship with devotees who have the similar interest and like this ones who have basically they are staying in healthy places. So they should also mingle with like-minded people who aspire for the same goal, which is Krishna Prem. So here we can see from the example of swans and crows. The birds which are mentioned here, like the swans, chakravakas, the geese, and all these birds are mentioned here, they are basically in the mode of goodness. We see in the example of the similar kind of description, we see the example of Devahuti and Kadam Manishamba, and when this Vaikuntha description is there in Srimad Bhagavatam, we see the similar kind of setup also we also see. So these birds like swan, they are basically in the mode of goodness. So crows and swans, they both are birds, and both have feathers, but they are coming from the same species, but they have different mental attitudes. Like we see in the human being in human society also, we have different persons are there, different human beings are there. They have different mentalities. Prabhupada always compares the fruity workers or the passionate men. He compares them always with the crows, whereas the saintly persons of the perfect devotees, gentlemen, the Prabhupada tell, they are basically compared to the swans. The crows basically they take pleasure in a place where garbage is thrown out. Just as the passionate fruity workers, they take pleasure in all kind of extra things like the wine and the gambling and intoxication. They go to these places for the sensual pleasure. But but swans, they do not take pleasure in the places where crows are assembled. The crows are assembled near the dustbin. In India, we see wherever we're throwing food, right? All of a sudden, the crows will come over there. They will to make a lot of noise. Prabhupada humorously will tell that these are kind of, like crows conference at the meetings. Instead, they are seen in the atmosphere. The swans basically they are seen in the atmosphere where there are natural scenic beauty will be there. Nice lake will be there, where there are stems of lotus flower will be there. Lot of nature's beauty will be all around. So that is the place basically where the swans will come. Swans also will come with their family, but they will come to the family where the atmosphere is good, atmosphere is nice, water is beautiful, cool breeze is there. It's like whenever we also go to the next to the lake, right? We also feel good. So swans, definitely, they will go to that area. But whereas the crows, what will they do? They will go to the filthy places. Similarly, we see regarding the association, there are two different types of literature, and they are basically for different types of like the market literatures, the magazines, the showbiz magazines, or sometimes the newspapers, the gossip things. They attract the man of the poor intelligence, like the cross category basically. Those literatures basically they glorify the sensuous objects. They don't talk anything about supreme personality of Godhead. They don't talk anything about the devotees. So the crow mentality people, like the man of less intelligence, basically they get attracted to that. But on the other side also there are wonderful subject matters are there, like Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Then after that, our gurus and guru paramparas, basically in the lineage, we have so many literatures like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Bhakti Thakur. They have written so many bhajans, so many wonderful topics they have written. Srila Prabhupada has compiled so many books for us. So spiritually advanced people, they are basically they take the essence and the rasa from these books. So these spiritually advanced people, they are basically compared to the swans. So they don't take pleasure in the sensuous and the dead material objects or literatures, which are source for the pleasure of the man of poor intelligence. Instead, what they do, they love to read spiritual topics, which basically glorify Lord, or they read Bhagavad Gita, they read Bhagavatam, they read topics which are basically in the mode of goodness, which basically tells us who they are, what is the relationship with God, and which basically raise their consciousness above. Just like the swans, they don't go to filthy material. Similarly, the spiritual seekers, they avoid going to this mundane literature. Instead, they read, they have a spiritual urge, and being a human being of higher intelligence, they also try to read spiritually advanced topics. So that is the difference between the swans like mentality people and crows like mentality people. So in the uh, 2 days before, like 2 days before last Tuesday, we had Gor Purnima festival. In the Gor Purnima festival day, it was raining like anything. So when I was going to temple, I was thinking that like we might be having less crowd. But when we entered, slowly we saw the parking lot is getting full, temple hall is getting full, lordship is very beautifully decorated. Outside it is raining, but inside the temple it was looking feeling like a Vaikuntha temple atmosphere. Lordship are very beautifully decorated, and everything is so nice. Devotees are so excited. Nice kirtan is going on. Wonderful phogas are all around. So in those kind of atmosphere, basically, devotees would like to and devotees would like to mingle and they want to associate over here. So now next thing I wanted to discuss about that relationship with worldly people. So materialistic people are kind of two types. Bhagavatam it says that there are two types. Those who are ignorant, basically they don't worship Supreme Person God and they don't know. And another category is those who are arrogant, they're called abhajanti. So our in Prabhupada always emphasizes that it is good to talk to them, preach to them who are ignorant. But those who are arrogant, those who are not favorable to Krishna consciousness, we should limit our association with them. And we can take the example from Parikit Maharaj. Like Parikit Maharaj, he is so kind and he is so honest that he knows that this entire world basically is filled of misery. Basically, all around is so much unhappiness. You can say that it's dukhalaya or sasatam. It's temporary and it's always filled with misery. So Parikit Maharaj has got the curse that he is going to get bitten by a snake and he is going to die in 7 days. So he has only 7 days there. In 7 days, if a normal person is there, what will he do? He will try to make his family members safe, and he will try to save his all his bank balance. He will take care of his son. He will spend some time with his family and see that, and also whatever he has last desire, he would try to something he has not done, he will try to do that. But what Parikshit Maharaj is saying that I need to hear the glorification of the Lord in the assembly, and then Sukadev Goswami comes and he basically discusses the glorification of Bhagavatam and Supreme Person of Godhead Krishna. Parikshit Maharaj from childhood days, he has listened about Krishna from his mother, but he did not get an entire aspect of Lord Krishna. But here, it's different days, he is trying to get association with saintly persons, Namisharanya, in a nice, in the nice banks of river Ganges, and with all the assembly, he's basically listening Srimad Bhagavatam. So from this, we can take an example like how basically in the time of death also, we should take the help of sadhus as an association. So when the Bhagavatam, before the narration, Sukadev narration, Parikshit Maharaj is basically asking the boons from these sadhus. He's saying that I know, like anyway I'm going to die, and I don't know what will be my next life, but whatever it is, I have three things in desire, three boons actually I want in my life when I'm leaving the body. The first one is that Bhagavati Antarati, that whatever life I get in my next life, I should have attraction for Bhagavan who has unlimited potency. Then he says that the second one I want is prasangas chatat asureshu, means always I should get association of the Lord's devotees. And third thing he is saying that by three, that I should have a friendly relationship with everybody. So three things here Parikshit Maharaj is saying. The first thing is that he should have in the next life, even if he is taking a human birth, that he should have attraction for Bhagavan because Lord Krishna is full of potency and he is going to definitely rescue him. Second thing is he wants association with the Lord's devotees. Third thing he says it, point three, basically he wants a friendly relationship with everybody. So Parikshit Maharaj has taught us what is real sadhu sangha is and what is real association is. Not only in this life, we should also aspire in the next life. Like Parikshit Maharaj, we should also get association of the devotees and we should get mercy of Lord Krishna. So this association and worldly matters, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has always emphasized. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Jagannath Puri, King Prataprudra Dev was very, very favorable to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he never wanted to meet king. For him, meeting a king basically is just like a meeting a black serpent. So black serpent, even if you take out the venom now, serpent is anyway, it will hiss you. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if you like, he was always hesitant to meet King Prataprudra. So King Prataprudra was feeling very pain that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to this material planet to rescue everybody, to go back to Godhead. Am I so fallen that Mahaprabhu is not meeting me? So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Ramananda Rai, everybody used to explain Prataprudra that, just be patient. Someday, one day, definitely, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to meet you. So then, when the Rathatra was happening, Mahaprabhu is seeing that king is very politely sweeping. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got little bit affection is developed for king. Then when the kirtan was going on, after the kirtan was going on in front of chariot, after that Mahaprabhu was tired and he was sitting in the Janapalab garden. That time the king came in a simple cloth and started massaging Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. And that time he started singing Gopi Git. When he's singing Gopi Git in a simple normal attire, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart melted. And he asked, keep on singing, keep on singing. Then after that, when the king continued singing, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired, who are you? Then the king, in a humble way, he saying that I am servant of your servant. Basically, I am very menial. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu responding that I am a sannyasi, I don't have anything, I can only embrace you. Then he embraced King Prataprudra. So from this, we see that we might be in a different consciousness, But in order to get Krishna Prem, in order to get this love of devotion, we should arouse our consciousness, like in Pratakrudra, so that we can get Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's association and Krishna's love. So, like the swans and the crows example, Prabhupada here tells us we should be like swan. We should follow the moods of swan and hang around with the swan-like people so that our heart will get sublime and we'll get the nice virtues, and at the end we'll get the seed of devotion in our heart, so which will help us to get the higher goal of life, which is love of Godhead. With this, I would like to end today's discussion. Thank you so much, Haribol.
Thank you very much, Madhavi. I'd like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day ahead. I would like to offer praise to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare Hare. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare. Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Nrsimha, Jai Nrsimha, Jai Nrsimha, Praladesha, Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bringam, Ugravida Mahavishnu, Jwalantam Sarvatomukam, Nrsimham, Vishnam Badram,
Bhadram Mrityum Mrityum Namah.
Nityam Namami Ham, Nrsimha Bhagwan ki Jai, Prahlad
Jai.
Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
That's offer our humble obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnavas, Vanchakalpatarubhascha,
Kripa
Kripa Sindhu Bhaya Vacha Patitanam Pavane Bhayo Vaishnave Bhayo Namo Namaha Vaishnavinda ki Jai. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय. Today also is Yatirabha Tithi of His Holiness Kadamakarna Maharaj. So let's also offer a prayer directed to His Holiness Kadamakarna Maharaj. His Holiness Kadamakarna Maharaj ki
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Prem Saran.
Thank you, Mataji. Haribol.